Kevin Barnett here for Carbide 3D Education, here to help you install the new Gas Strut Kit on your Shapeoko 5 Pro. Extra support for your Z-axis as you go all in with heavy spindles, hoses, and accessories. If you need some written specs, the QR code has you covered, but really everything you need to know is right here in this video. To start, open the hardware bag, zip ties, bolts, wire guide, washer, and a beautiful Carbide 3D nut. Next, pop open the tube, pull out the strut support, and the gas strut itself. These are the contents of your kit. Step 1. You're going to want to remove the ball end from the strut. This will be on the bottom part of the strut. You have to unclip the ball retainer clip from around the base of the shaft. Similar to an E-clip, but with a vertical component that passes through the socket. Careful not to drop it. It will definitely disappear. Ask me how I know. With the retainer removed and set aside, the ball end should come right out. Now get your machine on, initialized, and bring it to the center front. You'll locate this threaded hole on the left side of your Z-axis and thread the ball end in. A 12mm wrench will be handy for tightening. A quarter turn or so should snug it right up. Grab your strut support next. You're going to bolt on the wire guide. Before mounting, you'll want to pre-thread a zip tie through the wire guide. Go through the front top, then come back through the bottom hole before attaching it to the strut. You'll notice a cut-in on the top of the strut support that's intended to accept the wire guide. The wire guide should be mounted vertically in line with the strut support. A single bolt for mounting gets it done. Bring in a T-handle wrench and you're all set. T-handle hexes, quite handy. Step 3, bolt the strut support to the top left of your Z-axis. The support must overlap the front plate with the wire guide facing outward. 2 bolts tightened into place. Now bring in your gas strut. The bottom side with the empty socket should be passed between the front and back plates. Once there, snap the socket onto the ball. The top nut comes with Loctite already embedded. In order to connect the two parts, you'll need to slightly compress the strut and push the top ball stud through the support. Next, put on the washer and the nut. By placing a 12mm wrench on the ball stud, along with a small crescent or 15mm wrench up front on the nut, will allow you to tighten the strut into place. I wanted to make sure I kept that C logo perfectly vertical. You arrange it as you want, it's your machine. The retainer pin must now be replaced. I used some needle nose to get the foot of the pin into the top hole of the socket. Be sure it's vertically seated and then snap it back around the ball stud. The final step is securing your router power cable or VFD control cable to the wire guide. Place your cable into the guided channel, then tighten. You're definitely going to want to leave some slack in the cable to prevent pulling on the cable connector. I've done that here on the right side. As mentioned earlier, this kit is designed for fully loaded Z-axes. If you're running air on your machine, you can have the air hose zip tied directly to the VFD cable and it can follow in the same pattern. With a few zip ties, you're all set. This setup will keep your wires and connections out of harm's way and keep your machine operating at peak performance. With about 3 minutes, you're all set to go. Be sure and reach out with any questions you have or drop some in the comments below, and happy machining.